Assalamualaikum everyone. In biology we have started with chapter number 9, that is morphology of flowering plants. Last time we have started with floral parts and their structure. In that we have studied calyx. Now today we will study another floral part, that is corolla, and it is written as capital C. Corolla, this is the second floral whorl. Corolla is the second floral whorl. The individual member of corolla is known as petals. The individual member of corolla is known as petal. Single member is known as petal. If many are there, then we call it as petals. Now these petals, they are sweet. They may be sweet in taste. Okay, they may be sweet to taste, and they possess fragrance, and they are bright color. As they are sweet to taste, they have fragrance and bright color. This attract the agencies for pollination. Agencies like biotic agency, for example living organism. They attract the living organism, for example insect, birds, for pollination because of their taste, fragrance, odor and bright color. Now these petals are fused. When petals are fused, they may be fused or free. Okay, the petals may be fused or free. In some flower they are fused, in some flower they are free. When the petals are fused, that are known as gamopetalous. That flower is known as gamopetalous because the petals are fused. Example is datura. But when the petals are free, that they are known as polypetalous. Polypetalous example here is rose. Now the main function of corolla is that it attracts the different agencies for pollination. This corolla, as they are a bright color, they have fragrance, they have sweet taste, they attract the different agencies like insects, bird, bat, another animal, for example snail. So they attract these different agencies for pollination. We human beings are also included in that. Okay, because of a bright color, we also get attracted towards the flower. So we may be the agency for pollination. Okay, so corolla, this is the second floral whorl. The member of corolla is known as petals, and these petals may be sweet to taste, they have fragrance and have bright color. Then they may be petals may be fused or free. When free, gamopetalous, when fused, gamopetalous, and free, polypetalous. And the function, it attracts different agencies for pollination. See, everything I have written in point wise. This we can note it down, and you can use as a note for your studying of the answer. Okay, this will be helpful for your studying of the answer or making of your notes. So we are studying floral parts. So we have studied calyx and corolla. Now this calyx and corolla, these are the floral parts. This floral parts, that is calyx and corolla, they helps for reproduction. They help for reproduction. They are not the sexual part, but they helps for pollination. Okay. Now next is perianth. Perianth, that is written as P. Now what is perianth first? Now we have seen calyx, green in color, corolla, bright color. But sometimes what happens, this calyx and corolla cannot be differentiated. They are fused. You cannot differentiate what is calyx here in a flower what is calyx and what is corolla. Okay, they remain undifferentiated. You cannot differentiate calyx and corolla. If this type happens, then that is known as, that wall of a flower is known as perianth. Means we will not call here calyx and corolla. The wall we will call it as perianth. Okay. The member of this perianth is known as tepals. The member of the perianth is known as tepals. Now here also same, tepals may be fused, they may be free. When they are fused, they are known as gamophilous. When tepals are fused, they are known as gamophilous, and when tepals are free, they are known as polyphilous. When tepals are free, they are known as polyphilous. Now here, as I said, calyx and corolla cannot be differentiated. So sometimes we can see green tepals are present. If green tepals are present, we call it as cephaloid perianth. If green tepals are present, we call it as cephaloid perianth. And if color petals are present, we call it as petaloid perianth. Okay? So perianth may be two types. It may be cephaloid perianth or petaloid perianth. Okay? Means if we see the perianth green in color, we call it as cephaloid perianth, and if we see as brightly colored, we call it as petaloid perianth. Example for this perianth is lily. In lily flower, you cannot differentiate between calyx and corolla. The next example is amaranthus. Amaranthus, and the example is celosia. Many examples are there, but we are in our syllabus, 3 examples are. Now function. What are the function for this perianth? As it works for calyx as well as corolla, so we will find almost both the function of calyx and corolla. As the function of calyx and corolla, the main function of calyx was to protect the floral walls of flower. So as it is working as calyx also, so it protects the floral walls of a flower. Then as I said, cephaloid perianth is present and petaloid perianth. If green color tepals are present, as green color tepals are present, these green color tepals can perform photosynthesis. They are green in color, so they can perform photosynthesis. And if they are bright color, then they help for pollination. Means both the function of calyx and corolla is present in perianth. Okay, and this perianth is written as capital P. So we have seen two floral whorls, that is calyx and corolla, and also perianth. If calyx and corolla is undifferentiated, then perianth. And next is estivation. What is estivation? Estivation is the mode of arrangement of sepals, tepals or petals in a flower with respect to the members of the same one. What is estivation? It is the arrangement of sepals, petals, or we can say tepals in a flower with respect to the other members of the same one. Means here how petals, how sepals or how tepals are arranged, that arrangement of the sepals, petals or tepal is known as estivation. Okay. Now next is types of estivation. Estivation is of 4 types. There are 4 types of estivation. First is velvet estivation. Now what is velvet estivation? If you see velvet estivation, then the margin of sepals or petals, they remain either in contact or lie close to each other. You can see here the petals, you can see, if we see the sepals, they remain either in contact with each other or they are very close to each other. But they do not overlap. You can see different, they are present very close to each other, but they do not overlap each other. Present close, but they do not overlap. Example is calyx of Datura and also Calotropis. In Calotropis and in Datura you will find that the velvet aestivation is present. Means here the margins of sepals and petals are very close to each other, but they do not overlap each other. Second aestivation is known as twisted aestivation. Now in twisted aestivation, what you will see that the margin of sepal or tepal is directed inward. See, you can see one margin is directed inward and overlap, while the other margin is directed outward and overlap the margin of the adjacent. Means if we see two margins are present, one is inside and the other one is outside. Means inside, you can see inside, and the same sepals petals margin is outside. है ना? One margin is inside and the other one is outside. If this type of arrangement is present, that type of aestivation is known as twisted aestivation. Example, if we see corolla of China rose, then we will find twisted aestivation. Then in cotton also we will find twisted aestivation. Okay. So what is twisted aestivation? When the margin of each sepal or petal, is directed inward and is overlapped, while the other margin is directed outward and overlap the margin of the adjacent. Okay, this type of aestivation is known as twisted aestivation. Third is imbricate aestivation. Now, what is imbricate aestivation? In imbricate aestivation, one of the sepal or petal is totally internal. You can see one is internal, and it is overlapped at both the margins. Means totally it is present inside. Both the margins are, you can see, overlapped. Then one of the sepal of petal is totally outside. Totally outside, you can see, it is completely outside. And other members, they overlap each other. So you can see they get overlapped with each other. Means one margin out, one is inside. One of the margin of one member is outside, other is inside. Okay, this type of aestivation is known as imbricate aestivation, and this type of aestivation is found in Cassia. Okay, what is imbricate aestivation? One sepal is totally inside, one sepal of petal, you can say, is totally inside, one is totally outside, and other members are overlapping each other. Rest of the members are overlapping each other. This example is Cassia. The next aestivation is known as vexillary aestivation. What is vexillary aestivation? Now here you will see one corolla is butterfly shape. Here if you see corolla, here the shape of the corolla is totally, you can see, it is butterfly shape. It consists of 5 sepals. Okay. Now outermost, if you see, the outermost is known as, this is the largest, outermost is the largest, and it is known as standard or vexillum. Outermost member is known as standard or vexillum. Then it has 2 internal members. That 2 internal ones, that they are the lateral petals, and they are wings. These are known as wings. The lateral 2 are known as wings. Whereas the 2 are smaller. You can see internal 2 are smaller, and they are fused. These 2 are fused and they form a boat. Okay, and this boat is known as keel. They are known as keel. These 2 are known as keel. Example of this vexillary aestivation is pea, mutton. Okay, you can see in P you can see vexillary aestivation. Okay, so estivation, it is of 4 types. So first, what is estivation? Estivation is mode of arrangement of sepals or petals or tepals in a flower with respect to the other members of the flower, the members of the same bud. Okay, and estivation is of 4 types. It is velvet, twisted, imbricate and vexillary estivation. Next is apicalyx. Apicalyx, it is an additional whorl. It is an additional whorl of sepal-like structure. This is formed by the bracteole, which occurs on the outside of the calyx. Outside of the calyx, if this is a calyx, outside of the calyx we will find this apicalyx are present. Okay, so this apicalyx is the additional whorl of sepal-like structure. This is formed by the bracteole, which occur outside the calyx. And if we count, then their number are around 5 to 8 in number. Now this apicalyx, it is the main characteristic feature of family Malvaceae. In family Malvaceae only we will find apicalyx. It is the main characteristic feature of family Malvaceae. Now function of this apicalyx, they are protective in function. Okay, they protect the inner floral whorls. Example is, in ladyfinger we can find apicalyx are present. Then in China rose also we can see apicalyx are present. Okay, apicalyx, which is the additional whorl. Okay, so we have studied floral whorls. In floral whorls we have studied calyx. Then we have studied corolla, and if this calyx and corolla are united, then these are known as perianth. Then we have seen estivation, types of estivation, and last is apicalyx. Okay, thank you.